10 years. Can you believe it's been 10 years since The Dark Knight was released in theaters? What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I thought for the 10-year anniversary of The Dark Knight, because I've already talked about it, I've already reviewed it, I've already mentioned why it's my favorite Batman movie, my favorite superhero movie, hell, my favorite movie of all time, that I thought for this retrospective, I would sit back, watch the movie, which who knows how many times I've done that now. First, let's talk about the opening scene, the bank robbery scene, where we get introduced to the Joker and all of his clown thugs. I love this. It's such a great way to open the film, especially because technically we don't know it's the Joker yet, and we hear all of the other thugs talk about the Joker, how he hired them, and what they think of him, and the slow reveal of how they just start killing each other after they fulfill their task. And then you see that one of them is the Joker, how he does escape with all of the money and the bus, and how he leaves the bomb in the guy's mouth. It's such a great introduction to your lead villain character, and it's a great introduction for Heath Ledger as the Joker. Heath Ledger, it's been said so many times how he was villainized. Once he was announced as playing the Joker, people thought, no, this is ridiculous. The guy from 10 Things I Hate About You, the guy from A Knight's Tale, the guy from all these romantic comedy movies, bogus. At least that's what people thought. At the time, I didn't have a huge reaction to it. I remember thinking, oh, okay. But I was so connected to Jack Nicholson's Joker or Mark Hamill's Joker from Batman the Animated Series that I just wasn't sure what we were going to get. But as soon as we got that first initial teaser trailer, where we didn't even see one frame of the movie, one picture, we just saw the bat symbol, and it was being broken up into pieces, and you heard dialogue from the movie, and you heard Heath Ledger talk. Just his voice as the Joker was enough to make you go, whoa, this is something different. This is going to be something different. And I loved what I heard. You heard the laugh. He put so much into this role. He poured so much of himself into this role. Reading about what he did to prepare for this, how he secluded himself in a hotel room for like 3 months straight by himself, isolated. He read some comic books about the Joker, but he mostly used this time, apparently, to develop his voice, which is why he sounds so different. He changed these weird tics. What's even sadder is that he couldn't shake any of this after doing the movie. He truly changed himself, probably messed himself up in the head. He couldn't sleep. And that's how he got hooked on sleeping pills. And it's sad. It's mostly sad because he never got to see his own performance. He never got to see the movie and just see how great he was and how much of that work was warranted and how it paid off. And it's even sadder to think about 10 years later, Heath Ledger's been dead, and I recently watched a bunch of his movies that I hadn't seen before, and I'm seeing how good and diverse he could have been. Imagine where his career would have been with another 10 years. Imagine how far along he would have been as an actor. It's sad to think about, but I mostly want to take this time to just appreciate what he did and appreciate the fact that we'll probably never get another performance, another especially portrayal of the Joker like this. I mean, they've tried it and it hasn't quite lived up. I want to talk about Batman catching Scarecrow. I love that because it closes up loose ends of Batman Begins. The Scarecrow does get away at the end of that movie, and it's just a nice wrap up of that. And it's also great to see Cillian Murphy back, but not just that. This works as just a thing for Batman to do at the beginning of the movie, even if you've never seen Batman Begins, even if you're just watching The Dark Knight as a standalone movie, it's just something cool for Batman to do. You're seeing him not only take out these thugs and the cool shot of him jumping onto the truck from high above, but you also see him taking out those other people dressed up like Batman who are inspired by him, but they're not going about doing it the right way. And you see that classic scene of the Joker revealing himself to those crime bosses in that room. Him laughing as he walks in is great. The magic trick is something that everybody referred to and quoted and talked about after the movie. Character beats of him freaking out when somebody says you're crazy. After that, not long after that, Joker kills Gamble, Michael Jai White. And this scene is important because he tells a story about supposedly how he got these scars. And these scars, he says, was from his father who beat his mother and beat him and one day just snapped and cut the scars in his face. And it sounds tragic. It does. Especially watching it for the first time, you think, oh, wow, what a backstory that they're giving this Joker guy, and he explains why he's so crazy. Then later on, you see him tell Rachel Dawes another story about how he got his scars from his wife and how he did it to impress her, or because these guys scarred her face and he was trying and it didn't work. And that's where you realize that this guy's completely out of whack, that he's just making up his own backstory. Depending on the day, this is his backstory. And it was brilliant. It was genius to not fully reveal Joker's backstory, to make it a mystery, to keep you guessing. Taking the fake Batman and the video, that eerie, scary video. Probably the first video where you see how scary the Joker could be, where he's laughing, and then all of a sudden he just yells, "Look at me!" And I remember the first time I saw that loud "look at me" shook me and made me go, whoa, all right, we're not just going to have fun with this Joker character. And I want to mention Michael Caine really quick as Alfred. Michael Caine is such a great actor. Alfred is such a backbone for Bruce Wayne, especially when he sits him down and tells him that story about that bandit that ran away and was doing all of this stuff, but none of it made sense. He was just doing it to watch the world burn just because it's fascinating, because that's foreign to Batman. Even the way Bruce Wayne listens to the story, it just doesn't make sense to him. Everyone does something for something. Money or a loved one, or there's always something, but not with the Joker, and he has to learn that the hard way. That great scene at the fundraiser party for Harvey Dent where Joker crashes it. I love this scene because it's yet another scene where Joker just showcases that craziness, him going around and asking for Harvey Dent. Batman shows up, the scuffle that they have. I love the part where he has Rachel hanging off of the window. Batman says, "Let her go," and Joker just says, "Poor choice of words," and he just drops her. I love it. Batman goes right after her, saves her, of course. Joker, he threatens for Batman to give up his identity, take off his mask, or he'll kill people every night. And he does this. He keeps his word. He kills a bunch of people, the judge, the Commissioner Loeb. And at the memorial service for Loeb, you see that Gordon protects the mayor and gets shot in the back. I want to mention this because when I first saw this, I was shocked. I was like, there's no way that they're killing Jim Gordon right now. They can't. He hasn't even become the commissioner yet. And I was freaking out, especially because with this movie and the tone and the unpredictability of the script, as crazy as it was, you could buy that they would do something that crazy, that they would kill Jim Gordon halfway through just to surprise you, just to tell you that, hey, anything can happen. Harvey Dent reveals himself as Batman, supposedly, and gets taken. He's being transported That tunnel chase is great. I love the Batmobile, the Tumbler. I should probably mention the Tumbler. Something that I know some people rejected in Batman Begins because it does not look like a traditional Batmobile, and I can admit that. But I like that it was something different. I like that it was something set in the real world, which is what Nolan did. In the real world, you would have a Batmobile like this. You would have this huge, ginormous tank that's damn near indestructible. It at least could do all of these things, and it does get blown up in this movie. That's a little sad. It was sad to see it go, but I do like the Bat Pod. It does do some amazing stuff, especially in this sequence where he ties the cable around the truck and Joker's truck flips over with him in it. He comes out. The standoff. Like, I have so many favorite moments, favorite scenes in this movie, but this is one of them. The standoff where Joker is saying, "Come on, I want you to do it, I want you to do it." Batman's coming at him, and he's yelling, "Hit me." And the look on Batman's face, for a split second, he almost probably was going to do it. But then at the last second, he turns, and he crashes himself, and then that's when it's revealed that Jim Gordon faked his death, and this was all a plan to capture the Joker. I love that, because it finally feels like they finally got one up on the Joker. And then Jim Gordon gets appointed as the commissioner. Great moment. Just a real great character moment in progression. It truly feels like Gordon earned this position. And this probably is, though. If I had to pick, gun to my head, if I had to pick my favorite scene in this movie, it's the interrogation scene. It's when, once they realize that Harvey Dent never came home and they're interrogating the Joker, Batman shows up, and I love the conversation between Batman and the Joker. Joker trying to relate to Batman on a weird level that Batman's not a cop and he's not going to fit in like him. And they have their ideologies, and that they're, he completes him, and all of those great character moments, psychological moments of the two characters who, let's be honest, how many times have they really just had a chance to sit down and talk to each other without fighting, without fist? Of course, though, once Batman realizes that Joker has taken Harvey, that has taken Rachel as well, that's where Batman freaks out and beats the crap out of him. And I love that Joker is laughing as he's doing so. He finally does give him the location. But before I go any further, I want to mention Christian Bale. Christian Bale as Batman does not get enough love from this movie, probably from the whole trilogy. I know people make fun of the Batman voice, and that's fine, but I personally like it. It's the most distinguished from the Bruce Wayne voice. It's the most, complete opposite. He really does feel like a different character, a different person, and I like that he committed to that. I also like his portrayal of Bruce Wayne, especially in front of the public, where he's pompous and he's arrogant and he's kind of douchey. That's what you want to see from the public persona of Bruce Wayne. Christian Bale pulls that off perfectly. There's so many layers, there's so many levels to the Batman character that Christian Bale is able to get right. I know people love Michael Keaton as Batman, and I do as well. I love Michael Keaton. Other people say that Ben Affleck is the best Batman, and I personally, my opinion, I think Christian Bale is the best Batman, and this movie especially shows that. Rachel dying in this film was a shock the first time I saw it, just because of the connection to Bruce Wayne. They grew up together. She seemed like his long lost love. And I know it's not played by the same actress who played her in Batman Begins, Katie Holmes. This time it's played by Maggie Gyllenhaal. Some people prefer Katie Holmes. Some people prefer Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is a better actress, and I really do like her in this movie. But for continuity's sake, I guess I would have liked Katie Holmes to stay in it. Either way, though, I think the character was essential, and I like that she not only represented Batman's loss, Bruce Wayne's loss, but Harvey Dent's loss. This death changes Harvey Dent for the worse. Not just that, but it's losing half of his face, that fire where him waking up in the hospital And I love the slow reveal, the fake out that they keep wanting to show you what he's going to look like, but then they don't show it. Aaron Eckhart, I should mention him as Harvey Dent, as Two-Face, because he's great as well. He too was underrated, underappreciated in this movie. He has this white knight persona, but he really does feel like a guy who can clean up the city, who's willing to do whatever it takes to get these criminals off the streets. And Bruce Wayne wants him to succeed. That is clear. But to see a guy fall from grace, to see a guy who had this potential and just to go to being a criminal, it's sad. It is, and it's yet another example of the Joker being right about someone or something. The Joker's scene with Harvey at the hospital was amazing. Just the two of them interacting. It's fascinating. Any scene of Joker talking philosophy with a character, especially, he's almost showing Dent why he does what he does, what the city's reaction to what he's doing is, and how if Dent does the same thing, sure, it can be for revenge to a point, but you will see what your actions will do, especially to Gordon later on. The hospital blowing up is an amazing sequence because it's practical. That's another thing about this movie, is that 10 years later, it still holds up because all of the action is practical. I don't know if there's any CGI. If there is, it's very little. It's subtle, and it's the perfect way to use it. Lucius Fox. Bruce Wayne using Lucius Fox technology, especially that sonar. He's desperate to find the Joker. I like that, but I mostly like Lucius Fox not liking Batman doing this. Not because I agree with Lucius Fox, because I do think, yeah, Joker's so freaking crazy that Batman has to do whatever he can to stop him, but I like the fact that Lucius Fox disagrees with Batman at times, that he doesn't just blindly go along with whatever Batman wants to do. He does have morals. He is willing to stick up for those morals because he says he will leave the company if this type of technology sticks around. So I like Morgan Freeman for that. And then you get our final showdown between Batman and the Joker. I like the twist of the hostages being the clowns and all of the bad guys are really the doctors, and Batman's the one who figures that out, keeps him smart. People saying that Batman's never been a detective in a movie need to rewatch this one. There's plenty of moments where Batman figures things out, thinks things out, and he is doing detective work. When Joker's wanting the two boats, the two ferries, to blow each other up, and he's so convinced that it's going to happen, and Batman tells him he's wrong, and this is the only part in the movie where Joker is wrong. Honestly, it's the only time where Joker says, hey, something's going to happen, or hey, people are like this, and he's wrong. They don't end up doing it. I love that even Debo didn't want to blow up the other ferry. And I love the conversation that Joker has hanging upside down with Batman. That's after Batman knocks him off of the ledge. And as Joker is falling, seemingly to his death, he's laughing all the way down. I love that because even though he's probably going to die, Joker would rather laugh because it proved that he was right about Batman, or that he could get Batman to kill him. And he just finds that funny. But then Batman saves him, brings him up, and he's like, you just couldn't let me die. I love that. I love he reveals what he did to Harvey, and you get the end sequence where some people think that this is tacked on. Some people think the movie should have ended after Joker was caught. I disagree, though. I like the fact that the Two-Face story is added to this, of him kidnapping Gordon's family. The scene of him taking his gun, pointing it at his kids, his son. It's so eerie. It's so creepy. It's intense. Even rewatching it, Gary Oldman's performance is amazing. He's practically in tears, begging him not to kill his son. And then Batman shows up, knocks Harvey off of the ledge. Some people will say that Batman killed Harvey Dent. I disagree, though. I think Batman, strictly his intentions were to save the kid. He saved him. he maybe failed to save Dent, but he was shot and he was injured. So there's only so much the guy could do. He saved the boy. He even let himself fall off the ledge. And that's where you see that Dent did die. And sure, it would have been nice to see maybe more Two-Face stuff like in the next movie. But the way that this ends, it's too perfect. Where Dent dies, and so Gordon and Batman have to come to a point where, especially Batman says, I'm going to take the blame for everything that's happened tonight. Batman could be a killer to the people's eyes, and as long as we keep the streets clean, as long as we uphold Dent's nobility and his image, it's worth it. And that final shot of Batman driving away, he's being called a Dark Knight. It's just, I get chills talking about it. To me, this movie's perfect. To me, this movie will always be the best Batman film. I would love another Batman movie to top it. I would love another superhero movie to top it. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of The Dark Knight 10 years later? Does it still hold up? Do you love it as much as I do? Is it your favorite Batman movie? What's some of your favorite moments of the film? What do you think of Heath Ledger as the Joker? Thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!